we do have a responsibility at all times to take care of our bodies, and we can do that in a healthy, productive way.
Yes.
So it's like
there's a balance for sure. Like you know that, you know, you're maybe not going to be able to get exactly where you were before you left, but I think that's a big thing with, again, what I teach about like coaching my missionaries on control. It's just like understanding like you surrender a little bit, but you don't have to surrender everything to the point where you're like mentally unstable as well. You know, there is that fine line for sure. So I love that she was able to do that, because that is hard.
It is hard.
It is so hard.
She's my kid who has so much confidence, but I'm always dissecting it and trying to understand, like, I mean, I'll have moments of feeling proud, like, oh, I taught that to you. But then I'm like, no,
that was you.
I mean, I think she was raised with certain beliefs as a pretty sister, but this kid has this confidence just coming out of her. And I'm always also studying it and learning from it, and then trying to reteach people where it comes from. But I do think that our ultimate confidence always is coming from knowing who we are, like truly connecting to our divine being a daughter of God, and just understanding our worth and potential at that raw level. And when we tap into that, and I think that's what she's doing. She's like, you know, I'm serving God, I'm doing his work, I am who I am. This looks thing, I'll tackle that later. And she's been able to sort of compartmentalize and put it on a shelf and know that it's not the most important thing right now. And I know her. She definitely cares about her body and her looks. Hopefully not unproportionately to how she should.
Yeah.
So I know she will come back to it and take care of things later. And I'm just proud of her for not forgetting who she is.
Yes.
Because ultimately that's what we need to remember. And that's where our joy comes from, is knowing who we are, whose we are.
Yes.
That we are children of our Heavenly Father.
Yes. I love that.
So, and I think that's what gives us such a bright light, and probably what connects me to you so much, because you know that. And so I get that feeling from you that you're probably teaching that with brilliance.
I do my best. It is so important. I'll always remember such like a tiny thing that my mission president, so like the leader of my specific mission, said one time. Is he was talking about our worth, and just this little context, this little tiny sentence, he said, like, he's like, if we teach our daughters that they are daughters of God, we're not going to have to worry about having to measure their skirts with their fingertips. And I think that that's just so important, because it's not about like the tiny little details. Like, is my skirt long enough? Is it too short? Like, do I look like I'm respecting my body? Do I look like I'm looking for attention? It's like, if you know who you are, everything else falls into place. If I know my purpose when I'm getting dressed in the morning, it's going to change the way I look. And that doesn't mean I'm going to go off and make crazy decisions or never show my skin or whatever. It's going to be personal to me, and I'm going to be intentional with everything that I'm doing if I'm keeping that in mind. Which just that tiny little sentence just has stuck with me so much.
Yes.
About the importance of knowing who we are.
I love that. So I love that you're coaching, because we need more people like you with such goodness inside to be helping our daughters and women and men, like you said, to feel good about themselves and to be their best selves. Another thing we talk about a lot on this podcast is dreaming. So I'm a big person who believes that we all have dreams, should be dreaming, should be visualizing what it is that we want to create in our life and accomplish. And then that's kind of the first step that I teach, that you want to dream and then come at it with a lot of belief, you know, being able to believe in your dreams and then creating your dreams. So having said that, I love talking to young people because I feel like you're, you know, at the stage where you're in college, you've already started to formulate some of your dreams and choosing your career, and you're also getting married. I'm sure that was a dream that's about to come true.
Absolutely.
But you're just at this young stage of just, hopefully life feels like it's just full of possibilities.
It does.
And full of, if I go back to remembering when I was first getting married, you just feel like the world is your oyster and there's so many things and you're almost just like picking from all the possibilities. So let's just go into the young mind of Madeline.
Okay.
And what is going on in your head as far as dreaming goes?
Oh my gosh.
That topic. Are you dreaming? Are you dreaming?
All the
big?
time.
Are you, like,
All the
what does
time.
that look like for you?
Yeah. No, I love this question. I'm going to go back to before my dreams right now, kind of how the dreams that I'm living right now have become a reality. I remember the very first time that I like thought about coaching is I was in a health class my freshman year of college. So I was 18 at the time. And I distinctly remember this experience. There was like it was a slideshow, and it was a picture of like a fat person that was running. They were very overweight, a very overweight person who was running, and then a super skinny model like sitting on a chair. And the question was, who is healthier? And she was like, obviously the person who's overweight and running because they're running. And at that point, I was like, what? Because something that I actually
look like health.
Yes, it doesn't look like health, and something that I've struggled with both ends of the spectrum, because I struggled with feeling not confident in my body because of the weight gain when I was serving my mission. But growing up, I was always so insecure about how small I was. And so I was like, that's not fair. Like, what if that model just is really small, and they're trying and they're doing all the right things, and they're eating a lot and they're exercising, and they just happen to be smaller than other people. Like, that's just not fair. And I remember calling my mom and giving her this whole rundown, and I was like, that's not fair. Yes. It's like, there's no just like one size fit all. That's just not a reality. And so that was kind of like the first time my mom was like, okay, like, you could talk about this, like finding out what I'm passionate about.
To say about it.
Yes. And then I remember after that, I first was interested in life coaching, which I actually am a certified life coach as well as a health coach. And I remember being like, but I'm too young. Like, I'm 18. Like, no one's gonna listen to an 18-year-old. Like, haven't been through that much life, which I actually had. And now we know that no matter what age, like, you all have your things.
That imposter syndrome, they call it, is going to pop up no matter what age you're at.
Yes.
And it's just the people who are willing to be vulnerable, to speak up, to help others, and you have that desire to help others, you can do it. You can always find somebody that you can help.
Exactly.
There's no shortage of that.
Exactly. And so I was like, I kind of just like shoved that away. I was like, well, I can't really help anyone. I'm 18. And then my mom was like, that's not true. And my mom just helped me reframe that thought and realize, okay, maybe I'm not going to be the most effective coach for someone who's in their 50s or 40s or something, but I can be really impactful for someone who's in middle school, or someone who's younger than me, or someone who's at the same phase as me, or maybe even right above me. But I just always like to go back and think about when I was really struggling with my mental health, or on my mission, or just my dark times in my life. Like, who would I have liked to be in my life when I was struggling? And I try to be that person.
Yeah. And oftentimes a peer or somebody that's not so different in age is somebody who you could relate to the most.
Yeah.
So we do need you younger people talking to some younger people, because that might be the person who's going to listen. So
and I think
discount the impact we can have.
Yes, and it's been so amazing to see now coaching. The majority of my clients are either high school students or college students, or within that age range. And I just think it's unique that they're able to trust me maybe a little bit better than someone who's in a completely different phase of life than them, because I get the social stuff, and I get all the things. Like, I was just there, or I'm there right now. And so I just think no matter,
become like a little best friend.
Yes, it's my favorite thing.
This knowledge and skill set to be able to help them along.
Yes, it's so fun. And I just remember, like, when I was, and this is not to discount counselors or therapists or any way, because they're so important, and I just wasn't able to find one that was right for me when I needed one. But I just always remember being like, I just don't feel like this. When I was going to counseling, I was just like, I don't feel like this lady really cares or understands what I'm going through. And so I just remember, like, if I was able to talk to someone who maybe I could relate to personally a little bit more, or was a little bit more like that would have made the world of a difference. Yes. And so going back to answer your question about dreams, I think that you can always find a way to make your dreams a reality, and never put that imposter syndrome on yourself, and just know that maybe you just got to tweak it a little bit to make your dream a reality in a way that it fits for you, specifically in the phase of life that you're in, and the critique or credibility that you have, and whatnot. So I guess that didn't really answer your question, but
with that, because I think that's a great answer that's helpful to people, because you're not the only one who has those thoughts, or who will have a dream and think, oh, I can't do this. I don't have the credibility. So there's a way that we can work through that. Okay, but you were going to say something else.
I was just going to go back to your other question about what dreams do I have
coming up.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't even know where to, I don't know where to start, because so many, but at the same time, I haven't been able to think past May 16th, which May 16th is the day I'm getting married. So like,
where the most important dream comes through, which actually I will say is the beginning. You know, it's the beginning of your happily ever after, which is so exciting, but it is something that takes so much work and nurture and effort, which I'm sure you've seen from your own parents. That marriage is such a beautiful thing, but it's a lifeline. I always tell people when I'm writing that wedding card, that here's the start of your happily ever after, because you get to now cultivate this and dream dreams together that you'll be able to accomplish, which is a beautiful thing.
And honestly, I think that's one thing I'm most excited for, is like, I have my goals, I have my dreams, and he has his, and let's find a middle ground. Let's find a way to make them both happen. We both right now are wanting to do school after we graduate. Like with our bachelor's, we want to go on and continue to do more school. And it's like, okay, how do I find a place that's going to be good for me and for him and give us time? And even when it comes to like having kids, like that's a big dream of mine. Like I am so excited to be a mother, and it's going to be so fun to find a way to fit all of our dreams together and form new ones and mold mine with his, and not give up mine or give up his. But I think that's so important. I think it's something I unfortunately see with a lot of newlyweds, is one person has to give up their lifelong goal to support the other. And I think definitely there's times when that has to happen. Yes. Everyone has to sacrifice, but I'm excited to see what dreams we can make a reality with both of ours.
Well, and I'll say, having gone through this, and one belief that I hold very dear is that, yes, you're right, that there's times when someone's dream might be at the forefront, but never, ever, ever give up on your dreams. You might just have to, there's a balancing game. Like, and I believe this, and have experienced this even through mothering, is that I'll find that oftentimes women will give up their dreams to raise their kids. And I don't think you need to do that either. I think that it's very possible and healthy, actually, to hold on to your own dreams while you're raising your kids. And definitely my kids are at the top of my dream list. Like seeing them, be successfully launched into life as part of my dream. Right? Like I have these 5 kids, and I have it listed out as I want to see them get married. I want to see them. I have all these hopes and dreams for them that are part of my dream. That it's how I measure my success as a mother. But yet, on top of that, I have things that are my own dream that are outside of my kids, and I'm always working on all of them. So it's just a balancing game, but something that we shouldn't give up on. We shouldn't completely let go of ours in place of the other.
Absolutely.
Because then when the kids do launch, and which I'm doing right now, where my last child is graduating from high school this year, I have so many times other mothers will say to me, "Oh, I'm so sad. Are you, what are you going to do? Don't worry, you'll get over it. It'll get easier after a while." And I honestly cannot relate to what they're saying. And I tell them, I say, "No, I'm not sad at all. I'm so excited. And no, it's not going to be a transition at all, because I have so many things lined up that I'm working on that I'm excited to do. And I'm excited for her to launch." So I think I've been able to have that kind of perspective, because I have been raising these kids alongside of raising up my own dreams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love it.
And I think that more people need to understand that they can do that it's not an all or nothing game. And it's not that way with your husband. I mean, there was, Dave, when we got married, he pursued medicine. And so he had a lot of schooling. But while he was in school, I got my MBA. I was like, well, you're going to be in school, I'll go back to school too. Like we can both do that. And then there were times when, we focused on one thing more than another. But enough about that. I just, again,
I love it.
Pursue your dreams, ladies. Like, just, they are so important to you. And just even the act of visualizing, always having something that you're dreaming up and looking forward, just gets us through the hard times, because there are hard times. And even in the sacrificing, there's hard times. But when you have a dream in front of you that you haven't let go of, and you know it's there someday. It's that hope. I mean, hope is so powerful. So if we can have our dreams and always believe and have hope in them, then it's going to keep us moving forward. Like, we'll find a way. But if you put them on the shelf or you close it up and you just think, well, I can't, then we give up hope and we don't find a way. And then we go complacent.